As soon as I saw Rudy say that, I knew it was going to be his famous last words, and the visuals to his beatdown of the aftermath, didn't even need to see the actual beatdown, was quite glorious, and I have been dying to see this show return. Alongside 86, those were my most anticipated anime coming into this season, which had so many new, fresh, and exciting shows, but the continuations of two of 2021's best anime, it's hard not to be most excited about them. Honestly, everything that I loved about Jobless Reincarnation was here, but I honestly think they cranked it up a bit with the production when it came to the more outlandish reactions. I mean, the situation surrounding this Demon Empress and just Rudy's reactions, or her reactions, were completely glorious, to just the situational comedy towards just how they really spiced it up almost Looney Tunes style, but still sticking to their aesthetic choices was really fantastic. I mean, this show and its world and how it started to open up over 11 episodes completely knocked my socks off, and easily was like, okay, this needs to run a full adaptation, because there's nothing quite like it. We already had a good cast of characters to enter this season with, but to finally see what this girl was up to, you feed this hungry slob by what it looks like, to then have a kind of Milam situation, which was a breath of fresh air. I mean, I love that. I mean, it's completely different than all the characters we've been dealing with in this show up until that point. And to have Rudy play along with the outlandish behavior and, ultimately getting a wish, and I love the idea that he's logical about it. He's not stupid. He's not just saying, oh, I want 2,000 gold to be able to part the sea. No, I want wealth. I want as much wealth as you can give me. Well, I'm broke. Okay, give me half the world. Well, I haven't conquered the world. Okay, I'm a horny kid. Let me have your body. And then she was willing to do it up until the point where she pulls back, and probably was the ultimate destroying for him, because out of all the things he asked for, I think it's crystal clear which one he wanted the most, and probably was the most devastated by. But the interesting thing about the Eye of Foresight, which I've seen different stories use that before, and generally when I see it, there's been some cases that I can recall where, like, the blurry vision happens, but I have to hand it to this show with how it uses the medium to its full potential. On a visual level, you can tell that his eyes probably hurt him like a bitch. I mean, she was like, obviously it was kind of cartoonish and outlandish when the blood was spurting and he was shaking on the ground like he was having a seizure, but ultimately his eye looked rather bruised and beaten. But I love the idea that it was so disorienting, I was hoping we weren't gonna look through his eye again. Like, it really made it uncomfortable, with all the reds and the blues and the vision just being separated. And the fact of the matter is, while Rudy is skillful and it took him a week to master it, which apparently most people shouldn't be able to do it in a lifetime, I love the idea of how disorienting it was for even the viewer, and actually made me a little nauseous. And granted, that's probably just a personal thing. Many people will probably look at it from his vision and say, yeah, it was a little dizzy, but I didn't feel nauseous. But that's just personally how the colors were working for me. And I love that because it used the medium. Because I'm sure in the novels, the light novels, the web novel, they did a good job emphasizing what actually was happening. But to see it from his perspective, and the fact that it wasn't just a little hazy like I typically see in anime, the fact that they really made it feel like, even with your eye closed, you're probably tripping over yourself, was a great point to it. And the man he ends up saving shortly after, I mean, I guess it should be considered saving, because, a pot falling on your head could kill you if it hit the right spot, but either way, you saved a man from having a badass migraine for probably a month's time. And I really feel like he's going to be the smuggler that ultimately we get accepted by the end of the episode, that someone like our boy is saying, you know what, I will look away. I don't care about illegal things until we cross the sea, because ultimately they're kind of shit out of luck. It's an interesting conundrum, right? Because you have three people who ultimately want to do the same thing, but have different moral compasses in order to get there, right? On the perfect day, you would want to earn the money, but even as our boy Rudy says, we could take on every S-class mission for a lifetime and not be able to earn that type of money. So what do? Either A, you sell something that means a lot to you and someone like Eris, or you end up breaking the law, which is something he doesn't want. And there really was no way I could see them compromising. So the fact that they definitely have grown that much that he's willing to turn the other cheek and say, you know what, granted, you sell that staff, she gets upset. I can't sell this because I'd get upset. There's no compromising other than breaking the law. And I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if that dude at the end is going to be the smuggler, so to speak, which would be rather great. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny that Roxy, there was 2 or 3 moments throughout this episode that had he just looked behind him or to his left or right just a moment sooner, he would have recognized that she was right there. So that was kind of like a fun little Where's Waldo situation for me. I mean, this show, it's one of those kind of quality over quantity shows. You could easily see a production committee having 4 cours back to back and it not being as refined, right? But the fact that they took their time to come back, and I think, it shows us. I mean, this was originally supposed to come back sooner, but the production committee, they allowed a longer delay to make sure we could refine this product. And I think we got a taste of what that was going to look like. Hell, we get to see even more kind of like character progression for Rudy as a character. He's still a horn dog. That's not going to change anytime soon, if ever. But the fact of the matter is, once he beat Eris, right? I mean, I thought it was great to see that even a single second into the future is enough to be able to turn the tides in a fight that he normally couldn't win or would very much struggle to win. And when she was sleeping and he was about to go to sleep, he recognized that she's been working so hard to catch up and be this amazing fighter. And I used something that was just randomly given to me to kind of like push her down even farther. And, sometimes when the characters storm off and they're like, I wanted to beat you, you want to beat me, and they're kind of acting a little bratty, you can say, okay, they're overreacting. But in that case, you can really see why that would put someone down in the dumps. It's the little moments that I really appreciate about Rudy's character, whether it's towards Eris or even Rudred himself. The fact of the matter is they both had a key moment that really cemented the relationship between the three there, which was pretty fantastic. I mean, this show's going to be a blast. I'm so glad that not only is it finally back, we're going to get one more episode than we got in Cour 1, which may not seem like much, but one more episode is one more episode of one of the best shows I've seen all year. And it is going to be a fantastic ride. It's one of those shows that, it's not like introducing more characters should bloat the cast. More so, the more characters you introduce towards this bundle of lunatics at some points will just make even more situations all that more exciting. And I completely forgot that one of my favorite aspects about Cour 1 was that when the opening plays, they play the opening, but rather than just like having the traditional anime sequences, they have like the slice of life moments of the characters interacting with their environments, which is fantastic. And that ending sequence when we had the visuals of the song there, so well done. I mean, this season's gonna be hyped. This season has some bangers returning, it has some bangers starting up, and I think there's gonna be a couple of underdogs that people don't see coming that I'm keeping my eye on that are gonna take the community by storm. But I'd love to know everyone's thoughts, because this is arguably one of, if not the most hyped up shows returning this season. What did you think? Your favorite moment, most unexpected moment? I mean, the Eye of Foresight was definitely the most unexpected moment for me. But on the flip side, that character acting so ridiculous, chuny was flawless, and I hope to see more because I thought she was bullshitting. But then when you get the confirmation that no, we've definitely heard of this character before, I thought that was pretty fantastic. But let me know your thoughts, feelings down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.